Welcome to the Northern Illinois Wrestling Podcast. We're back. We're going to talk some stuff about what's happening in the area for wrestling. And tonight we're joined by Vince Alber, coach out in Dakota. And we're going to talk about the season and stuff, but we're going to first start off with something that he's kind of putting together, a wrestling camp. First, Vince, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, good, Dalton. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, good seeing you. Last time I saw you was at the summer camp that you put on. Tell people about it who weren't there, but you put together a camp this summer that was pretty cool.
Yeah, just had a family friend's Mr. Numbers place just north of Pecatonica, Illinois, a little outside of Rockford. He was generous enough to open up his kind of huge garage, and we put 2 full mats down. The one in August, we did the 2 days. Had the kids sleep on the mats and in tents. This one coming up this weekend is just Saturday, but 2 sessions with Royce Alger and Randy Lewis.
Cool. And yeah, I'm going to bring this the flyer up. So it's this Saturday,
Yeah,
October 11th, out in Dakota or at Pecatonica.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Jim, do you know who Royce Algers is?
I do from a like an Iowa documentary on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was in a documentary or an Iowa documentary.
Yeah, one of the Iowa greats. Vince, how did this come to fruition? Like, how did
Yeah.
you think of Royce Alger, or
Yeah,
did he come to you?
he just he made a post kind of on that Illinois Wrestling Facebook page, and I was always a huge fan of Royce Alger because my dad every year made us watch the Gable tape, the Competitor Supreme, or
Oh yeah, I remember
yeah,
that. Yeah,
and yeah, he's just had a few good sayings, and then you go back and watch his matches, and I mean, he's just that old school, just beat him down, tear him down.
yeah.
But
Yeah, he was
yeah,
an unorthodox wrestler too. Like, back in the day, Jim and I were just talking about this. Like, the Iowa style was kind of like, obviously the Iowa style was aggression, but the way in which a lot of wrestlers expressed their aggression was different. And he was definitely one that was unique, right? So if you don't know Royce Algers, he's a badass. There's definitely something that can be learned from him just because of the years that he's been around the sport. So it'll be interesting to hear how it goes and how the experience goes with the kids and how he
yeah,
interacts with them.
yeah. And I always think too, like, you know, uh, me and like our age, Dalton, you and I's age, kids can kind of, we're a little younger. Things can kind of go in one ear out the other, but like old guy talking, man, their attention's kind of more into it. I think I just have a feeling.
Yeah, for sure. And he's been doing it for years, so he's probably
Oh yeah.
well experienced at it. So if anybody wants to attend the camp this week, they can scan this QR code, or how else can they reach out to you? Oh,
Or
your
just
phone number.
phone number should be on there, or really just show up. Address is on there as well. Show up to the address, and pay the registration at the door.
Yeah, and the luxury is like you out there, you're gonna have a ton of space. There's a couple full mats. There's a lot of space for people, so you're definitely gonna be able to take anybody who comes.
Oh
So
yeah. 2 full mats, and then in between sessions, there's a nice fishing pond. We'll have lunch for everyone. Tons of room for kids to run around and do whatever. Really.
yeah, and so that's awesome. Hope everybody, if anybody can attend, head on out there. What I would love to segue into is like your plans for the future, because what I noticed this year with the camp, like the overnight camp, Jim and I have talked about this a lot, of just having like, somewhere where everybody can kind of like put together a solid few days of training, with some of the areas like best, coaches. I just think that that's a a really cool idea. And so what are your plans going into the future?
Yeah, definitely want to try to have something that like multi-day in the summer, and yeah, like you say, kind of make it more of a retreat than a camp. Whereas there's a lot of wrestling, but there's also a lot of like downtime, relaxed time where um, you're just interacting and just being
Yeah,
normal. I think
just
that's
hanging out.
yeah.
Well,
No,
well,
I
what
think
did,
Exactly what
the
that.
way you guys did that camp, like a super serious 9-year-old got what he wanted, and then an interested 9-year-old got what he wanted. Right? There's plenty of like there's both. Right?
yeah,
There's
and
a
just
lot
so
of
people
wrestling and
know,
there's a lot of
yeah, hanging
fun.
out. Yeah.
Or like like a lot of wrestling, a lot of non-wrestling. It's in a beautiful area, and if you have kids that age, you probably Metallica played there in 1996 in Pecatonica.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
history of the town. That's all I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it definitely was cool driving through the little town. But tell people who you had this year, because I thought it was a cool lineup of clinics. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but you know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, the first day, Friday, my cousin Josh Elber, was the first clinic. He went over a lot of top and bottom work, which was really really nice. Showed a lot of slick stuff. Um, just because you go to a camp or a clinic, it's mostly going to be takedowns or on your feet. So um, he had a good plan there. And then Nick Fanthorpe, who our era, everyone
Yeah,
knew Nick Fanthorpe, but now a little less. But he was awesome. Wrestled under Cale Sanderson at Iowa State. So he went
and
over
Penn
kind of some
State.
of the, yeah,
Or he coached at Penn State.
coach with him at Penn State. Yeah.
Yeah,
Went over some of his ankle pick series, which was again, like, how do you get how do you
yeah,
get much better than that? Like learning the Cale Sanderson ankle pick series.
yeah.
And then Jimmy got the boys up bright and early Saturday. Then you followed up Saturday. Was that early afternoon,
Yeah,
mid
we did
morning,
two
early
two
afternoon?
sessions. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you had Jimmy Masney, who's a high school junior, but Jimmy is obviously somebody we all know and a lot of people in the area know, and
yeah,
he was
yeah,
great. He's got
yeah,
some experience doing camps and stuff, so it was really cool to see
yeah,
him in his
yeah,
element.
yeah.
And yeah, then you
And
had
the
me and
kids,
I. Go ahead. Sorry.
Jimmy's a big kid too, so he likes
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kids were loving him, like playing. Jimmy is playing games with them. It was awesome. And then Ben Davino wrapped it up, and he was again great with the kids too. So it was just two really good days of wrestling.
yep,
And you're there the whole time helping kids. You have Dylan there the whole time helping kids. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not a one coach to 50 kid ratio that
right.
gets like
Yeah,
chaotic.
yeah,
You guys did a real good job of keeping it. I mean, it was way more organized than it should have been, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, you get that many little guys together, it can be chaotic, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
they were good. They were good.
yeah. It was fun. During the break, Jimmy and Narden were fishing with Ziller and a few other guys, and yeah, they were having a blast. Not just obviously with the wrestling, but in like the leisure time that you were talking about, where they're bonding and they're hanging out as kids, doing something as running around or just fishing, like
Yeah.
and there's
yeah,
a lot that could that I'm sure you guys did during the evening time and stuff as well. So
Well, then, Hogan Rice came out with Jimmy as well, and he's 110 pounds. He's 15 years old, and he's ultra elite. So I mean, there's a lot of little kids that are 110 pounds. So I mean, you got somebody like Hogan Rice wrestling with them. They're the same size. They're just 5 years apart.
yeah,
So it's
yeah, I love the whole model. I think next year, I hope that I can be a part of it somehow, and yeah, keep going with it.
yeah. Yeah, I also like to try to cater to a little older age kids too, and make it a little more intense. We can like kind of map out a path for a morning run, and
Yeah.
you know And
Yeah, it'll be
intensity isn't
something
always
fun.
bad.
No. We're looking for, personally, that's why I said I think there's a lot to it
Yeah.
that you can really push kids. Obviously the younger kids are also trying to be pushed, but there's a lot more teaching and mentorship where a lot of the older kids, they need to like see what it really is like for 4 days of really intense training. Some of
Mhm.
the best jumps that I made were going to like college intensive camps, and they would just take you on. They would put you through training, right? And it was just
Yeah.
it was a good mental exercise.
Yeah.
But
Maybe,
Vince, so go ahead, finish up.
yeah. Maybe make it like a little Dagestan camp where we
Yeah.
just kind of
Well, no, just
out in the
make it
elements and
yeah, make it a Dakota camp. I think the
yeah.
Dakota, the brand of people out there that it is a good opportunity to. Yeah, it makes sense to everybody in the area for sure.
Yeah.
But Vince, what do you like? So you're coaching this year. Your son is wrestling. What are you pumped for the season?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Our high school's gonna have more numbers than kind of originally planned. I mean, experience is still gonna be on the lesser side, but I mean, we got to start somewhere. So I think we had like 16 kids show up to like the initial meeting that Coach Alex had. So and I think we had 5 or 6 girls. So kind of upwards of close pushing 20 wrestlers.
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully
that's
for
good.
the regular season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because was I correct? So what's up with their football team? They don't have a football team, or they do have a football team?
No. Yeah. We got enough kids out for the football
Yeah,
team, but there's kind of a time there
yeah,
towards the end of the summer where numbers were pretty low.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's good. Good to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so have they named head coach, right? Because isn't there a vacancy?
Yeah. Coach Alex Dagg. He's a school counselor in the high school.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
got it. Is he
He
connected to the
he's
wrestling?
yeah. He's younger. He wrestled at Wabash
Oh,
in
great.
Indiana. And he's married to. Do you remember Doug Hullemeyer? He
Maybe.
Doug Doug ran the kids club when
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you and
Doug,
I
Doug.
when
Yeah, yep,
yeah
yep.
yeah
Doug.
yeah.
We had
He's
a
married to Doug's daughter.
yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember Doug because I was telling Jim earlier that I went on a trip with you guys on the I don't know, the motorhome, whatever you guys had. You had a big bus at the
Oh
time.
yeah
Yeah, and
charter bus.
yeah, big charter bus, and your
Yeah.
dad was driving it. And yeah, Doug, I remember me and Luke Winterhalter were eating, and I think Wanger was there too. But I he bet me that I couldn't eat 2 burgers because I was like a little guy. I was like, dude, I can eat 2 burgers. And I think I watched Luke Winterhalter and Wanger eat their burger like they were, the bigger guys, and I'm just this
Yeah.
little, maybe 60 pounds at that time. Who knows? But I think I ate it, but later I think I threw it up. But I was not gonna not win that bet though. Yeah. So that's good. Okay, cool. So things are
Yep.
looking good. The season's coming up. How's the youth
Yeah.
program?
Good. Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of our towards the tail end of the preseason session, and we'll take probably 2 weeks off and get right back at it. So we've had as far as like little guys, we'll pretty consistently have 12 to 20 coming to the preseason, and then regular season we're right around 50 or 60. So again,
How many days a week is your
kids.
preseason, Benny? What day? How
Just
many days a
two,
week?
just two,
Two.
Monday and Wednesday. Yeah.
But then you're like, there's like kind of a core group of your guys going elsewhere too on off days too. So I mean, you have some serious
Yeah.
little guys in the program for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of them do flag football. Some of them do tackle. So
Yeah. So
gotta let them.
yeah, and do you think just generally, what do you think about wrestling, like maybe collectively? Because obviously every program or every community kind of has ups and downs based on like who's involved, what kids are available and stuff like that. But like, what are you noticing as far as a collective in the wrestling scene? Think it's good,
It,
getting better?
and out like for Dakota or just in general
Just
or
well, yeah, Dakota, but normally mostly
yeah,
just Northern Illinois and, the expanding. I mean, United States
yeah,
wrestling's growing too. So what you're
yeah,
yeah.
and the kids are getting really really good young, and I don't know, it's tough to be a young kid, especially at one of those. You look at like a bell curve where the kids fall, weight wise, in that meaty part of the bell curve. It's brutal there.
Uh,
But and you know, you get a really athletic kid that comes out at 10 or 11 years old, who's used to winning in football, baseball, but now they don't know anything about wrestling, and they get kind of thrown to the wolves. Um, it's tough when you come out later, um, but also I don't know. I think it can be a blessing in disguise because you're not those older kids don't learn the bad don't learn bad habits. It's a little easier to teach them. I probably got off track there a little bit, but
Yeah, but
um,
I mean, genuinely, like, the challenge you are bringing up a great point. Like, and I think some people whoever listens to this podcast, whether parents of little kids now or like dads of high school kids, right? Like, it is challenging because the world that we're living in is like very distracting, right? We're creating a podcast for people to watch on their phone so that they're, and there are some people who are really focused on competing and having a lot of success, or just really just getting really good at it, whether it's success motivated or just like, I want to get really good at this. um there's so much information available. There's so many great coaches out there. There's so many camps and places to go. The people who are like really all in on it, they're getting so good,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and that's just, one of the things that as a coach we're challenged with is like the idea of like getting people involved in the sport because of all the process things that you get out of it, the hard work, the determination, the grit, the mental toughness, right? But like, you kind of get that through the process that you have to commit. So it's a challenge to not be distracted by other things, maybe even other sports, but really you have to have that goal. You have to have some type of goal to motivate you, whether it's, an award or like an elite level, like college or, Olympics or something like that. Or you have to have just a genuine desire to master the craft of wrestling. And, but yeah, you're right. Like, if you're not trying, it's a very hard sport to keep people involved. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. I kind of had a had to step back at our last practice yesterday. We had some of the uh, two new, or it was actually three new high school kids who, little to no experience, and then they're in with the kids that are in fifth grade and under who've been like pretty much year round wrestling the last 2 years. I try to give them 4 to 6 weeks off in between sessions, but they're wrestling pretty much year round, and it's just like, man, you don't realize how much work it took those little guys to get to where they're at, and some of them are middle of the pack to pretty good, um, but you look, then you have a beginner high school, and it's like we gotta go over penetration steps now, which is never a bad thing for little kids to do. Just hit penetration shot after penetration shot. Um, but it makes you appreciate kind of
Yeah.
the work you put in, the work the kids put in, and kind of how much they grow without you really seeing it. You see it, incrementally week over week, but then once you get throw another beginner in there, you really realize how much they've progressed and are continuing to progress.
Yeah. Yeah, wrestling's a hard sport to learn if you've never learned. I think I've said this many times, but like, you can pick up other activities later on in life and kind of like learn them, right? Like people could pick up basketball later on in life and they could, get pretty good at it. Not like
Mhm.
maybe they're not like, LeBron James or anything, but you could run around and join a basketball league. Wrestling, martial arts in general, it's so hard if you don't learn like the fundamental like balance and coordination and like uh, it's like a physical acuity where you're like aware of the sensory around your body. Yeah, people can get taken down so easy. That's why when you see street fights or anything, and well, not even that, just like
Yeah.
UFC fights,
Just-
right? Professional fights, people who are training to actually fight. If some of the toughest people that don't know how to defend somebody's wrestling, it changes the game. And wrestling to me is the hardest um, discipline to learn, right? Yeah, so it's difficult. Anybody who's listening, if your kids are serious about wrestling, or if they say they're serious about wrestling, and you want to do what's best for them, just start with the knowledge of like this is not a normal rodeo. Like Jim and I talk about this sometimes, where it's like some of these kids are actually doing a different sport. Like they're just they're learning they're learning how to move. They don't even necessarily know the coordinational patterns that are required. And then other people are like, again, we brought him up earlier, but his son, like Jimmy, like he can do stuff now that I mean, I don't even know if some kids could get to it, just because they'd have to go back and put the last 10 to 15 years in that he has, and it's like it's just hard to catch
Right.
up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I still
Yeah.
think, especially high school and kids, I think there's still value in like creating the practice, going through a tough practice, focusing on trying to like learn something, and then like literally just kind of fighting each other, right? Because that's what wrestling
Yeah.
kind of turns into. It's just, it's fighting with, don't no punches and kicks and chokes. And they get tougher because of it. It's a hard workout. It's hard to go through an hour and a half of fighting. So um yeah, I love the sport for everything, but I do, have you ever heard people bring up like the belts system in wrestling?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard it with like different colored like practice shirts.
Yeah.
Same but different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And personally, I'm not like in favor of this because I don't think it's a need, right? But there is I think there is a reason for people to recognize that there should be different levels of practices based on like level of focus, intensity, and so hopefully
I've
we get
kind
enough
of
kids that you can.
yeah. I've kind of had something similar to that. We give out like a. I had two horseshoes welded into like a W, and then chain welded on it, and that's our workhorse award.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so this is for the club. Whoever comes to rule number one is you have to be at every single practice that week. And then, are you the best teammate? Are you working the hardest? Are you staying focused? They get the workhorse chain. But I think this year I'm getting a few like gold singlets that are kind of similar style as to ours. So whoever wins the workhorse chain gets to wear the gold singlet that week at the tournament. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe it'll pump them up. Like they're the workhorse walking into the tournament. See how
Yeah,
it
no,
goes.
it should. I
Or
mean,
you're
I think
gonna get
it'll.
an email. Or you're gonna get an email from some mom that says it's not fair.
Yeah,
well, I hope the
yeah.
latter
That's
doesn't happen.
I can explain that.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great thing. I
Yeah.
think just the idea of creating like there's a level of just a word that people might not know. There's a level of swag that you have to have when you want to be a competitive athlete, and it's like, to be able to work for something that other people. Yeah, it's just I think it should motivate people. Why not? And you know,
Yeah.
we had the final singlets, right? Like in high school, you
Yeah.
always had final
That's kind of
singlets.
the idea behind it. Like, we'll also like go to a bigger tournament or a bracketed tournament. You make the finals. Okay,
Yeah,
wear the gold singlet. Like,
yeah, but
I don't
you
know.
don't get to
It's
wear
a
the
good motivator for those kids.
yeah, you don't get to wear the final singlets if you're
Yeah.
not in the finals. So
No,
I think
not for
that
third. It's not for
yeah,
third.
and for me, Jim, you might like this. In high school, they had I went to like one of the back closets and they had like a vintage wrestling singlet.
Yeah.
It was like an old Bucks, from the early '90s singlet, and I pulled it out. I think senior year at state. So it was like, stuff like that is always, unique and fun to do or whatever. But
For sure.
I thought I was in the 1990. Well, I'm not that old, but it was fun. It was cool. Yeah, Jim, you got anything for Vince?
No, but if we're gonna wrap it up, I have something, but I don't want Vinny to get a time. I don't want to give Vinny a chance to rebuttal, if that's the right word. So
You want to close it out on him?
I do.
Okay, well, Vince, you tell me if you got anything
All
else,
right.
and otherwise, I'll let you go. Thanks for jumping on and talking about the camp. I really hope that anybody who's available this week, a lot of middle school kids finished up with football. Take the day and go have a fun camp day. Be outside, and be fun.
Yeah, come out this Saturday, learn a lot of really
Sure.
good wrestling, and have a lot of fun. Do I get to hear what Jim says, or do I have to get off?
No, you can hear it. It's for you.
It's when you asked Vinny about like wrestling in a hole, and then he kind of went off and he was talking about the club. It's like, here's what I think. Like I have a personal lack. I'll use the word intimate because it's not like I'm using it, I hope correctly, like relationship with the Dakota Wrestling Club. I think not having an Alber or an extension of coaching at high school is crazy. That's it. Like I'll stand on that. So, and I don't want.
I'm sure. I'll still be.
You guys
in
do
the
what you want
practice
with
room,
that.
and
Yeah, well,
I'll be in the corner every now and then.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
My dad will be around.
Yeah, the Albers are,
like I said, like kind of our
be.
Yeah, our club. One of our club mission, or part of our mission statement for the club is to support the high school financially or organizationally. So wherever Coach Alex is freaking awesome dude. Wherever he needs help, we'll help him out.
Yeah. Well, if Dakota had a middle name, it should be Alber.
I don't think anybody thinks of Dakota and doesn't think of Alber.
Yeah.
At least if they've been around at all. But Vince, thanks again, and you take care. We'll see you soon.
Yes, we'll see you guys
Later, man.